actions would be rewarded through operant conditioning, we used classical conditioning to help him learn the connection between the clicker and the food reward. The food was the unconditioned stimulus, and the clicker was the neutral stimulus, which became the conditioned stimulus when paired together. Due to this, the clicker induced salivation as a conditioned response. This association allowed us to use the clicker as a stimulus for the operant conditioning, as it made him salivate and crave food, so he would perform tricks for the food. To enforce this conditioning, we used positive reinforcement. The food was seen as pleasant by Joe, so it was positive. Since this technique increased the behavior or encouraged him to do the tricks, it was reinforcement. He would often follow the food as he learned the tricks because there was a reward, and it is what gave him the desire to cooperate so that he could learn and repeat the tricks. In order to continue the desired behavior, we used partial reinforcement. As you can see here, we did not always reward Joe Biden when he did a trick. After he learned the trick, we would only give him food after performing it multiple times. Although it sometimes took longer for him to learn, extinction was less likely. This also helped to ensure that he would not always expect food and continue to work for it. For the majority of his training, we used delay conditioning to classically condition Joe Biden so that he would learn the connection between the food, the unconditioned stimulus, and the clicker, the neutral stimulus. When he gave desired behavior, we would first click, rewarding him with food after he performed the trick. So, as you can see here, when trying to get him to stand, we would click to get him to do it and give him the food afterward. This helped him to learn the connection between the clicker and the food more quickly, later aiding us in the operant conditioning portion of the training. Here we are using shaping to teach Joe to go through the PVC pipe. With each small step he takes toward the overall goal, we click and reward him with food. First when he approaches the pipe, then when he enters it, next when his head reaches the other side, and finally when he goes all of the way through. By doing this, Joe learns how all of his smaller actions are building toward the desired response, so he must reach the next step before being rewarded again. Joe Biden displayed his creation of a cognitive map while learning to go through the maze. As he explored, he could create an image of his surroundings in his mind so that he could picture what the maze looked like. By doing this, he was able to use previous knowledge to know where each turn would lead, helping him to remember how to get to the end. The law of effect is applied to Joe's conditioning, as it states that rewarded behaviors are more likely to be repeated. When Joe did a trick, we gave him food as a reward. Because of this, he would continue to do the tricks that he learned. After being treated when climbing up on our arms, he continued to do so repeatedly without even being told to. However, when we did not give him food, we had more difficulty trying to get him to repeat a trick, as there was no motivation for him to do so, showing the application of the law of effect. According to the Premack principle, something more pleasant should be used as motivation for something less pleasant, but just because something is pleasant for one subject does not mean that another subject will find it just as motivating. This was demonstrated when Joe Biden would not respond to certain treats, as he did not find them desirable. While other rats may have been motivated by treats like goldfish, Joe was not. As you can see here, he would not follow these treats as he only wanted sweeter ones. So we had to find out what he would follow and use this to get him to do the tricks.